Hi guys, welcome back to the 6th episode of Pixel Flicks. I am Brian, your host, and with me as always and on cue is...
Ryan.
Timing is impeccable.
Beautiful.
We have a trailer-heavy episode for you today. There's been lots of trailers over the past week. We're going to discuss them and maybe dissect them a little bit and see how excited or unexcited we are. And that's pretty much the podcast today. We will do a wee bit of just chatting at the end. But before we get into that, there are a couple of little things I'd like to discuss with you, Ryan, just before we touch on the trailers. Well, first of all, before even any of that, how are you and what have you been up to?
I'm alright. Hi. I'm doing well. I don't think I've really got anything exciting to share with you. I've not been up to much as well, so it's pretty vanilla week to be honest with you. Went to Silverburn today and
Ugh.
went
No,
around some
thank you.
shops, but no. Otherwise, I've kind of got I've got addicted to Vinted now.
All right,
Vin-
okay.
Vinted has learned what I like, and now it's pushing loads of stuff on me that I
I've heard a
can't.
lot. I thought it was just clothes on Vinted, but I think you can get quite a lot of things on Vinted these days, can't you?
Yeah, it does the electronics and all that as well. 'Cause that's how it
Yeah.
started. I was trying to get myself a new headset, and so I had a wee nosy on there. But then I think I found a Jurassic Park T-shirt that I was like, "Oh, I quite like that," and it just sent me down a wee path one night when I was just looking at all this stuff, and then I went back on the next day, and it was like just pushing loads of different stuff. I was like, "Oh, I actually like all of that stuff." So, yeah, Vinted is taking over a wee bit.
Okay, fair enough.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was working today, which is rare because I don't usually work Mondays, but I won't be working on Friday, um, which is nice. And yeah, I'm really tired. I'm ready for my bed, which is normally I'm really tired because I'm up. I'm just up, and now I'm really tired because I'm ready for my bed because obviously we're recording in the evening this time and not in the morning. So, and I'm working away for the next couple of days as well. So I've got a wee rental car outside that the work's given me,
Very
um,
nice.
and so I'll be. You're not allowed to drive your own car for some reason. I think it's to do with insurance. I don't know. So heading down to a place called Leatherhead
Wee Leatherhead. I've heard of that before.
tomorrow. So for a couple of days. But yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I had a
Nice.
busy weekend. We were at a friend's house. We had a friend round on Friday night for dinner, and then we were at other friend's house on Saturday night for dinner, and then on Sunday it was obviously last week it was Amelia's little cousin's 30th. This week it was Amelia's nan's 80th. So we were
Yeah.
at that. We were at a wee gathering for that, and then I watched the Super Bowl, which is in part why I'm really tired because I stayed up to after 4 in the morning and I was up at like 7:30 for work. So
Did you stay up for it all
not
then? Yeah.
no, but like I left once the Eagles scored, went up 34-0. I went to bed, but because I've stayed up so long, I was a wee bit wild, and so I couldn't get to sleep for quite a bit, which
Yeah.
was a bit frustrating. Because I was thinking at that point, oh, I could get about 4.5 hours here, but never quite worked out that way. So yeah, so a couple of things I wanted to talk to you was about our dear beloved PlayStation.
Yes.
They can't catch a break right now, can they?
No, they're not doing too well.
Obviously, the PlayStation Network went down on Friday night into Saturday. Is that right? I
Think
think
so.
that's right. Did that impact you at all?
Nope. I was having a night off of it, so yeah, I was blissfully observing everybody raging about it.
And yeah, and it didn't impact me either. Except on Saturday a little bit. I went onto the app, and you could go onto the app by that point, and I was trying to buy a couple of games, which isn't a big deal. Like stopping me spending money, so it's not a big a deal. But I bought them in the end anyway. They were on sale, and they were like really like. I bought. There's Harley barking. She just loves being on the podcast. Um, I bought a game called Okami. Um, because there was a trailer at the Game Awards in December of a sequel. Like it's like 20 years old, so it's like a long-awaited sequel. And I thought I just want to try that to see how it is. And I played a few hours of it actually. It's quite good. But I can talk about a wee bit about that later. And then I bought Shadow of Mordor, which is meant to be one of the best Lord of the Rings games. It was like £4, and so I picked that up to give that a wee go at some point.
No,
Why are you shaking your head?
because the best one was the Two Towers game. Me and Vicky, we sat and played
Have you
that on the
played? Have
Xbox.
you played Shadow of Mordor?
Aye.
All right. Well, that's fine then. Your opinion's valid.
I'm sure, was that not part of one of like the PS Plus games or something at one point?
Shadow of War was, because I've got that one already. I never bought it. I must have got that through PS. I mean, Shadow of Mordor might have been as well, and I've missed it. I forgot to pick it up or whatever. But I'm generally quite good at picking up games, at least for the last few years. I have been. But yeah, like £4. I thought, and I think the other game was like £6. So I was like, oh, but I'll pick the both of them up. That's nice.
Bargains.
Yeah, and so that's yeah. But what I was going to say was I was playing Gears of War on the on the Xbox, so I played that to like, and then after I played it, I was like editing videos for TikTok and YouTube to about 4 in the morning. So I never like it wasn't until I went into bed and was looking at my phone, so that everybody was moaning about the network, like the network being down. I had a few friends, but it just feels like PlayStation are just like it's one mistake after another at the moment. It's not
Yeah.
good, and like, and I know to me it's not. I don't think it's a massive deal, but it just doesn't look great, especially when Xbox is doing quite well at the moment. And obviously, people can have their opinions on the whole third party situation, but they've got Avowed coming out next week on the 18th, and then they've got another game out at the end of March and another game out in April, and it's just like they're proper like steamrolling ahead here for this year, and PlayStation's mixed up in live service controversy, and their servers going down, which is not good.
I'm trying to think what it was I saw actually. Just when you mentioned that last bit there, I'm sure I saw something from like a PlayStation executive who said that. Trying to think what the problem was again, but live service games weren't the problem with what's been going on. I'll try and Google it and see if I can find the thing, but it was just I thought it was just quite laughable that he was trying to say that the live service games aren't the problem when they seem like they
Well,
are.
we keep cancelling them then, so if they're not the problems, look. There is rumours of a state of play this week, which tend to be on Thursdays. PlayStation do tend to announce things quite late, so there's been a few. I don't know if you've seen that, but there's been rumours that there's going to be a state of play this week, which would be cool. Be nice to see what sort of plans PlayStation's got for at least the first half of the year or coming up. And there's been sort of rumours that they're going to announce something that's not been announced yet, which I'm not too sure if that will happen, but it'll be nice to see a wee PlayStation state of play.
Mm-hmm.
And then just quickly, the other thing I wanted to mention to you, have you heard of, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, Nisa 2? Nisa 2?
Don't think so.
I hadn't heard of it either. Basically, it is now the highest grossing, like one market movie. So it's made $1.1 billion in China.
Not really.
So I didn't even know there was a first one. Never mind the second one. But yeah, it's now like sort of individual market. It's the highest grossing film of all time now. It overtook The Force Awakens, which was like $936.7, I think, $1 million in the States or in North America. It just said so. Well, that was quite interesting, just because there's normally you associate the massive movies with like big blockbuster uh, income with sort of Western cinema, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just, and I know it's obviously a Chinese film playing in China, so like obviously it's going to do a lot better over there. But it'd be interesting if it gets like a big Western release because of how well it's done.
Yeah.
It's an animated movie. Looks. I watched the trailer for it earlier just to sort of get an idea. It looks okay. I'm not overly keen on the animated style. I think, and we've got cheek saying this because we use it for our pictures on YouTube and stuff like that. It looks a little bit AI generated. I don't think it is though, but it gives off that vibe to me a little bit in some
Right.
parts. Um, So yeah, I wasn't that keen on the animation, but I think if it came over here, I'd be interested to see it just because of how popular it is at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've not seen or heard anything about that at all. Which is
No, it's
again probably strange that you've not actually. Well, again, I've not heard anything kind of in any mainstreamy way about that at all.
no. So now that I've got a chat at work with some friends, and one of them just posted a link in there, and I was just like, I've never heard of this, and they were like, no, I hadn't either. It's just that it's like this sort of film that it's obviously not came out of nowhere because I think the first one must have been somewhat popular for the second one, then to make that amount of money at the
Yeah,
cinema.
nice.
Um, yeah, so just maybe something to keep an eye on. Cool. So the first trailer we're going to talk about, and this might be the one I'm most excited about, is Fantastic Four. I'd love to hear just your just your general opinions, and then we can maybe go a wee bit more into the trailer.
Yeah, well, it fills me with hope for the MCU going forward. I thought the cast looked great. You had mentioned it yesterday when we were playing Rivals, but I think Ben Grimm looks amazing. I think the look
Yeah,
they've nailed. I think the setting they seem like they've nailed. Um, yeah, just everything about it's just got very positive
yeah.
feelings, fantastic feelings about it. You could say, Brian.
Good to hear.
Um, so yeah, no, everything about it has me getting all hot and bothered and looking forward to potential that we've got going forward. And story wise, it's good to see Galactus as well in a true good form. Also,
Yeah. Nah, but I sort of echo everything you said. I thought it looked great, and it was one of those ones. The first time I watched it, I was just like, I don't know if it's because I was so nervous. I was just like, oh, I don't know how. Like, was that good? And then I've watched it so many times now, and the more times I watch it, the more excited I am for it. Like, and obviously, the difficult thing is we don't have any idea what the story is. It doesn't give anything away with the story. And I've seen some theories, and they kind of like sound plausible. I think the aesthetic looks great. Like the sets look really good, which is nice. And um, I thought, and we're going to go into this trailer. I thought the Thunderbolts ones looked bad, but actually, I think it's because the first time I watched it on my phone, and TikTok must do something. Not TikTok, X must do something to the way the trailers look, because it looked terrible. Then I watched them on YouTube, and I was like, oh no, that looks absolutely fine. Like, so I don't know if TikTok, shut up, Brian. If X does something weird to maybe they compress it or something. I don't know, and it just looks a bit funny.
yeah,
Um, but anyway, like all the characters, I think look. I think this obviously there's been a lot of online talk about the Thing, and lots of people hate how he looks, hate how he sounds, and I love both. Like I can't understand like the discourse and why people wouldn't think he looks great.
yeah,
Um, it just and like the uniforms look brilliant as well. Like this looks so good. It looks so clean, and I love like one of the things I noticed with the Thing. Like when I've watched it a few times, it's the noise he makes when he moves. Like see when he claps his hand and that sort of rock noise, and even when he
yeah,
like tastes the sauce, and you can sort of hear like the rocks moving in his mouth when he has just like such little details that are just sort of kind of perfect. And then obviously there's the classic trench coat thing shot as well. Just looks really good.
yep,
Um, and then like even like down to like Sue's monologue, which is and it's when she talks about how like Ben's always been a rock and like Johnny's Johnny, and I'm right here. And then she does get a bit fast and furious towards the end when she says like, "We'll do it as a family." It's
yeah.
like they've ruined that word, haven't they? Fast and furious. And like Pedro looks great. It looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like it looks like it clearly feels to me that he feels responsible for what's happened to them. Obviously, as their sort of leader type character, but he feels like he's got a heavy weight on him, like in the small footage that we've seen of him. But yeah, I just think it looks great. Galactus, obviously we've only seen the back of his head, but it's better than a brown cloud.
Yeah, but even the back of his head, like the detail that was in that, like
Yeah, yeah.
you could just see like all the wee kind of tiny lights and stuff like that in it, and yeah, just it just looked pretty bang on, I think, for
Yeah,
what a Galactus should be.
yeah, and obviously there's John Malkovich showed up, and people are speculating he's going to be Red Ghost, which is a character I'm not familiar with. I'm not going to sit and pretend that I know who he is.
I saw
Which is
Mole
fine.
Man as well. Mole Man potentially is a
Yeah, so that's what's his name? Paul Heiser. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
no.
Paul Walter Hauser.
I'll
You
need to Google.
recognise? He's
I'll
been
have an
like,
image somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, someone will be an image. You and Ryan will be like, oh yeah, I know who he is. Um, so yeah, I think the people are speculating that he'll be Mole Man. But again, another character I don't really, not really familiar with. But yeah, I just think he looks so good. And it's like what you said, hope. It's that every time I see stuff now with like DC and Marvel, it's starting to look good again, and I just think of Hawkeye and Endgame. And, like, don't give me hope. Like that's
Yeah.
just what instantly comes to my mind. So, any theories? What the story will be?
Yeah, I kind of briefly mentioned one that I've seen a couple of things about theories as to what could be going on. One being that Galactus is going to eat this world, and you see at one point Reed on a chalkboard, and there's a bit in the background about
Yeah, like
like
multiverse stuff potentially.
so seen that. Seen that Sue may be pregnant because there's a couple of times when it looks like they're hiding things.
Yeah.
So and the whole what we are seeing could be like a documentary type of thing about the
Hi,
fantastic.
that bit when they're like when he's showing that guy in the house sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of all that. So I've seen kind of rumors to do with those things, and the what's it, the Council of Reeds as well. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what route they'll go down, which is good. I like that there's a couple of potential ones, but nothing. I've not settled on what I think will happen. I hope Galactus does eat the world, though. I want to see Galactus be menacing and again be consequences for actions and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope something like that does happen when it eats this world.
Yeah, I feel like with Galactus, you don't want him to be a one and done villain. Like
No,
you want him to be around, especially because he has that potential to be the big villain of an Avengers film. Do you know what I mean? Like he's an Avengers level threat, as they like to say. Like,
yeah,
and so it would be cool to have him around for it. And obviously, we your man, what's his name? Uh, who's playing him? That's terrible.
um,
Ralph, what's his name?
oh my
Is it
god,
Ralph Fiennes?
no, it's
No,
the guy for the office. I
that's
think it
so
is.
bad, isn't it?
I think it is Ralph something, but I can't think of what his surname is. He was
You
in The
need to wait.
Witch,
Yeah, he's in loads of stuff, man. He's in
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu that we just watched.
Yeah,
Um, Ralph Inson.
there you go.
Butchered it, man. That's terrible. He actually plays
Pronounce.
like so in the Final Fantasy games. There's always a character called Sid. Sometimes they're a bit silly and whatnot, but he plays Sid in Final Fantasy 16, and he's actually my favourite Sid in any of the Final Fantasies. He's brilliant in it. I mean, he plays a very handsome man in it, but at least he's just like his voice acting is like on point, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's Fantastic Four. Um, like I say, I'm so excited for it. I think it looks great. I want it now. What a month! See if we get a good Superman and a good Fantastic Four in July. Like,
Yeah.
we're eating well if that's the case. So we are. Looks good.
It's got the.
Ne-
Got, sorry, I was just gonna say. Um, it's got the potential to like kind of reignite cinema to a certain extent. I think as well, because if you get people going to these things and restore a bit of faith in
Yeah.
these blockbuster movies, then people will want to start going back and seeing then things like Thunderbolts and Jurassic World and all the rest of it.
But then there's stuff like you've got like, but then you've got like Nolan's Odyssey as well, is which is weird because like, when's that out? Because Nolan loves a July release as well. Like, but we've not seen. I mean, is that? How is that out this year?
No idea. No, it must be
Like,
later in the year.
it must be because are they filming yet?
I've no idea. No,
You've got.
maybe he's
I mean, it feels like I'm quite excited about cinema this year. Like, see, like obviously we get we're both going to see Captain America on Friday. Sadly, not together. That would be lovely if we could see it
that
together.
would be lovely.
Maybe when I'm up in April, maybe there'll be something on that we could go see together. That would be quite nice.
It would have been the perfect Valentine's.
Would have been. Amelia and Charlene could do what they want, and me and you could go watch a movie. That'd be lovely.
Up the back row.
Ew. But yeah, like we've got Mickey 17, like less than a month away now, I think. So that's exciting. Or round about a month away. I'm quite excited. Well, I forgot to mention the. I think I'm going to like the score for Fantastic Four as well. It feels like
Yeah.
there's been a bit of effort.
It's Michael Giacchino again, I think, as well, is it not?
Aye, it is.
Yeah. So
And just like
faith.
when the choir comes in with Fantastic Four at the end and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it because that could easily be bad, but I don't know, it worked for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Nice one. Next trailer, something I'm not as high on: Jurassic World Rebirth. First thought on this from me is, there's a guy in this. I don't know the actor's name, and this is really bad. And the only thing I could think of was like, we've got Orlando Bloom at home. Like, if you if you put a picture of him up, he kind of looks like Orlando Bloom, and it just made me think, oh, we've got Orlando Bloom at home.
Was that the paleontologist guy?
No, that's Jonathan Bailey, innit? He's the most. I think it's Jonathan Bailey's name. If Amelia can hear me just now, she'll be cussing me if I don't have his name right, because I think he is a heartthrob at the moment for
Was he?
for everyone. Yeah, Jonathan Bailey. Yeah, I think he's very popular among the ladies.
I'm not sure the guy you're talking about then.
If you put the trailer up, he's the one who's organising the trip. So like obviously he's recruited Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey, and Scarlett Johansson brings along Mahershala Ali.
Rupert Friend, is it? Rupert Friend?
Is it Rupert Friend? I don't know.
He was wearing like a suit and stuff, quite suave.
Yeah. Aye, it's him. I was just like, we've got Orlando. He looks like Orlando Bloom, but some pictures he does, some pictures he doesn't.
He is British.
Yeah,
he is one of us.
That's fine. He still looks like a poor man's Orlando Bloom. He's like not quite as handsome.
I find it hard to not think of him from The Death of Stalin. No, like
I've not seen The Death of Stalin.
He was very good in it.
It's in Companion, so yes, that's coming out this year as well.
Nice.
Yeah, what was your opinion on this?
I quite like the look of it. My main thing about it was there's just way too much CG for me. Like just
too many dinosaurs. There's too many dinosaurs, and I know that sounds ridiculous in a Jurassic.
But see, I wouldn't mind if there was too many dinosaurs and there was a lot more practical going on. That's what I'll always say about these films is every Jurassic Park has had progressively less practical stuff, and I feel like that's detrimental to the films. Like the things about like the original with the T-Rex, when you see it's a real, albeit prosthetic head, I feel like those when you see that those things are real, they're more an impact and
yeah, no, definitely, I agree with that. what I will say though, I think the CGI looks good though. There was one, the one, the dinosaurs I didn't think looked good were I don't know what they were. I don't know if they were like, I don't know, Diplodocus or Bronchiosaurus, like whatever. The ones at the start, the big giant ones, I didn't think they looked great. But like, see the T Rex in the water, like diving its head into the water to try and catch someone. I thought that looked great. And I thought a lot of the other ones looked well. My problem is like we spoke about it last week when we were talking about. Remember, you were talking about like disappointing sequels, and you were talking about Jaws, and we kind of went on to like monster movies in general, how they always up the ante. And it just feels like we've had so many of these Jurassic Park, and it's just like they get more ridiculous. And it's just like I was really hoping they were going to scale it back again
Yeah.
and make it more like, especially because like they're going to this island where they're all sort of roaming free, and it was just like, can you not just make it like they're hard to find because like they're kind of like stalking you in the shadows almost. Like I just feel like I would have enjoyed that the atmosphere of a film like that so much more, and it just feels a bit like, I don't know, a bit bombastic and in your face. Like it's just going to be like 100 miles per hour, and I'm just not sure that's what I want from this film. I'll go see it because I live in hope that there's another Jurassic Park film that I enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I definitely hope that we're. I think that the cast all looks good. Obviously, fan of Scarlett, Mahershala Ali, Rupert Friends is mentioned, and this new heartthrobby person. But
You Jonathan Bailey?
yeah, I think he looks alright. He reminds me of the guy who was a bit of a dick in Jurassic Park 3, though, who stole the eggs. It reminds me of him for some
Oh, the
reason.
guy for Face Off?
Yes.
Yeah.
But as I say, otherwise, I'll always go and see a film with dinosaurs in it, and it's Jurassic related. But that was as soon as as soon as I was like, you saw a few of the dinosaurs, I was like, just too much CG for me. As much as they might look good, it's just not the same as a practical big
Yeah.
prosthetic dinosaur chasing somebody.
I I'm a bit worried about the writing of the dialogue as well though, because I wrote this down because there's a line towards the end where Jonathan Bailey's character is like, they ask him, "What's this dinosaur?" And I can't remember what he calls the dinosaur, but he says like they defend territory, stalk, and hunt, and then Scarlett Johansson's like, "None of what you said is good." And I was just like, it just feels like it's like meant to be like a quip, but it doesn't. For me, it doesn't work, and it just like feels like bad writing in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to be somebody trying to be like the Goldblum of the group, because I feel like that'd be like a Goldblum type of
Yeah,
thing.
but yeah, it's maybe a good shout, but it just didn't work. Also, as soon as I saw Mahershala Ali, I was just like, "This is a dead man walking. Like he is not making it out of that film
Yeah,
alive." Yeah, and I like Mahershala Ali. He's good.
yeah.
There's some nice shots. I mean, Jurassic Park kind of loves the flare, doesn't it? Like, and there's a nice flare shot with him, which looks great. Like, and obviously you get the shot of the mutant dinosaur that's in it. Finally they've well, not finally. I guess they kind of had a mutant dinosaur last time as well, but this one doesn't particularly look like a dinosaur. I think I read that it was T-Rex, a Rancor, and Xenomorph were the inspirations behind the look,
Mm,
which I like all those things individually. I
yeah,
don't ever want them all collectively.
yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't. You know what? If I go see this and it's 3 stars, I'll be happy. It's like, oh, I've had a good time at the cinema. Like,
Yeah.
so I guess if it reaches that, we'll be fine. Next trailer. Before we just jump on it, there's a few TV spots we'll talk about, but there's not much to say about them. Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about this one?
Yeah, kind of ticked all the boxes that I kind of thought it would tick for me, in terms of it being maybe a wee bit of a underrated movie, or what's the phrase I'm looking for, like a dark horse. Um, I think though, you mentioned something earlier on that is the only kind of problem I had with it was, I thought the look of it sometimes. I was like, the colours of this, like, I know maybe sounds a strange thing to say, but like the colour scheme that they were using, there was a couple of times when they were like down, like in a city somewhere, and everything was quite drab, and Bucky was
But
just in like a t-shirt, and it looks like I imagine it's in. I think he's maybe been recalled in some way. Like I think he's maybe gave up in the group, and then he's been recalled, and that's why he's just quite plain looking. But there's just a couple of things I was like, oh, I'm not quite sure if I like the look of this.
one of the things I did notice from watching it a few times, that there is a bit where there's a big shadow comes over the city, and so I don't know if that's Sentry or maybe the Void, because I think Sentry has a, I don't know if it's a split personality, but like another characteristic in him that is the Void over over that particular part of the city. So that maybe explains the color palette for that particular
Yeah,
scene. It looks like a good time. I think. I think it looks like David Harbour is having the best time ever by the looks of things, and I'm all for that. And it feels like, at least for the Mist trailer, like it was him, Bucky, and Florence Pugh that seemed to be doing most of the legwork here, which I'm kind of fine with. Um, Florence Pugh might be the lead by the looks of things.
yeah.
Again, I'm cool with that. Florence Pugh is one of my favourite actors, so um, I'm more than happy with that. But I just think this looks like good fun. It feels like a James Gunn movie. I don't know if that's fair to say, but just like even just with the music in it, I don't really feel like I remember many Marvel trailers other than Deadpool, which obviously is kind of its own thing. Like I mean MCU Marvel films where there's a pop song very heavily over the trailer and
Mm-hmm.
feels like it's going to be in the film as well potentially. Other than the Guardians, again Deadpool and the Guardians, but obviously Guardians is known for that. Um, and obviously it's hard not to compare it to both the Suicide Squad films as well, since it's kind of Marvel's version of that with the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought this looks good. Say, I'm really interested in Sentry because I've only read it. I think Sentry's only been in one comic I've read, which was the World War Hulk comic. So I only know a little bit about him. Um, um, and it was in, I mean, that scene is quite chilling when he's just like making those people like become shadows. Like,
Yeah. He's basically like the MCU version of Superman, is he? Is that
not quite. I was reading a wee bit about him earlier on just because I was like, because that's what I thought. And I think that's the impression you get in World War Hulk, to be fair. So I think super strength is one of his things, super speed. But I think there's a wee bit more. There's one of the things I was reading, I don't know how true this was, is like for every time Sentry does something like benevolent, like the Void will do something of malice. Because I don't, because my understanding is that Sentry wasn't a villain, so that's where I think maybe, because that's why I was like, I googled it. I was like, I don't think Sentry is a bad guy in the comics.
mm-hmm.
Because obviously you've read World War Hulk as well, haven't you?
I don't remember him too much about. I don't really remember him being in it, but I have read it. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I'm the same, but I certainly got the impression that he was a good guy, not a bad guy. You
yeah.
know, like when I was reading it, and he was like, what's that phobia when you're scared to leave the house?
Aggro.
Yeah, he had that in the comics. Like that was part of the. I think that's part of the reason why you don't see him that much as well. Um, and so maybe it's the void part that's doing. And so maybe there'll be a bit of a almost Jekyll and Hyde type thing to his character when we see him in the in the film. I mean, because
But should.
he rips Bucky's arm off at one point. There's no way they can beat him if he's
Mm-hmm.
just out to beat them. It's just not possible. And I think obviously Florence Pugh's character hints at that, doesn't she? She says like, "What we're going to do is just shoot at him and punch at him. Like, what can we do?" Like,
Yeah, I suppose that would fit well with the people who are the Thunderbolts because they're obviously got good and bad things about them. They've kind of been on both sides, I suppose, to a certain extent
yeah, yeah,
with their previous. So I suppose they're good people to be put up against them.
Yeah, and at one point I was thinking, like, how is Bucky and what's his face going to get along? Uh,
Red
what's his
Guardian,
name? Not Red Guardian. Captain America. What's his name?
Anthony Mackie.
No, the guy that
Oh,
was
yeah, yes.
thingy's son. What's his name? We're terrible with names. Have you noticed that? We're so bad.
Someday Russell,
Yeah,
and
Kurt
he's
Russell's
John
boy.
John Walker. John Walker
Yeah,
in
John Walker. That's it. Well done, Ryan. 5 points to Gryffindor.
the.
Um, yeah, but then actually when I like sort of sat back, I was like, actually Bucky's probably the best character to be able to kind of like get on side with him because obviously what he's been through as a character and like what he's done, like he's probably someone who can easily, not maybe not easily, but is willing to accept someone like that because he
Yeah,
seemed a bit unredeemable after Captain America, didn't he? Like uh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, whatever it was called. But yeah, excited. I'm very excited for movies again, Ryan. It's quite nice.
yeah, definitely. As I said before, it's. I think if we get a good run here, then it could like reignite the blockbuster scene. And I suppose these are like the first batch of films really that'll be coming from after all the writer strike stuff as well. So
I think, yeah. I mean, there has been films though, hasn't there? I mean, I think like last year, Wicked has been massive. Like Mufasa's done really well. I think Moana 2 made over 1 billion as well. Um, but it's just like dribs and drabs. Like so, like obviously you had like Barbie and Oppenheimer that both of them absolutely smashed it, and also did that thing like do you know like if a big film's coming out, another film wants to move, but none of them budged. And sometimes I think that's probably like because everyone went to see, so many people went to see both of them at the same time, and it's
yeah,
probably a good thing to do is put both of them on like at the same time. Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it's good. I hope we get some really good films this year. I'm excited. Cool. Then the other stuff was like um, there was all just TV spots. I didn't think anything was that. It's hard to be excited or put off by any of the TV spots that we saw. Like so, you had F1 with Brad Pitt, obviously Mission Impossible, which is quite a nice little TV spot because it shows you flashbacks of the some of the other movies. And I like the way obviously the little starts at a very wide shot and then the picture gets bigger as the little TV spot goes on. You had Lilo and Stitch, which isn't really anything like
yeah. It gives you
like
a feel for the animation style they're going for. So I suppose it
yeah.
gives you that.
And then was it How to Train Your Dragon as well?
Yeah. All
Any
of
of
which
them?
though, all of them I would say like have have my interest in some way. I think maybe the one uh, probably will lean into a bit more than the rest would be the F1 because I think I do like a racing movie and um the I can't remember what the name of the film is with Chris Hemsworth and
Rush.
Rush. That's it. Yeah. I really like Rush. I like those type of films, and so I don't know if maybe we're going to have a wee feel of that. I like Brad, so yeah, I'm quite interested in what Russia's got to. Sorry, F1's got to say for itself.
It's also directed by, is it Joseph Kosinski, who I'm pretty sure did Maverick as well, didn't he?
Yes, that
And
rings a bell.
so I think that's what gets me most excited about it is that I like Brad Pitt as well, and he's already got a very good sports film under his belt anyway with Moneyball, so um, that's quite good. I hope so. I don't watch F1. I've tried to get into it several times because sometimes you talk about it in the group chat, and I've got other friends who talk about it, and I'm like, oh, this sounds exciting. I'm going to watch it, and then I watch it. I'm like, nah, it's just shite. It's not for me.
Yeah,
But
it's a
I
bit.
understand that one of the things behind the scenes in F1 that we don't always see, I think the documentary that's on Netflix gets into it, is like sort of the politics of Formula One. And I'd like to see it delve into that a wee bit. I'm not sure it will, but I'd like to see that. I think I'd enjoy that. But like, obviously, Maverick is high intensity, like, uh, flying, like with the pilots and the jet pilots, and so like, and he obviously Joseph Krasinski captures that uh, really well, and so I kind of have faith that obviously Formula One is a high intensity like racing, so I'm kind of hoping he captures that aspect of it really well. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
easy it. Obviously, with the planes, you've got like two seaters, so you can get someone in the back, so that's where they can film all the actual scenes in the plane. I don't know if they do two-seated Formula One cars that allow you to do quite the same thing to get the actual close-up footage. Because that's what's great about Maverick, isn't it? Like
yeah,
when
yeah,
they're doing all those stunts, and then you actually see the actors in the plane as they're doing those stunts.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I like I say, like top. I don't need a trailer for the last Top Gun film, not Top Gun, for the last Mission Impossible film. I'm gonna go watch it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the things I will say about Mission Impossible is like, do you know the girl that's in it who's in Guardians of the Galaxy? Again, forgot her name because we don't remember names on this.
Oh.
Palm um,
Clem.
Clementif or something like that.
Yeah.
Palm Clement. Have you seen the last Mission Impossible film?
No, another one before this. I've seen everything up, I think, until that last
So
one.
she plays like a sort of, I guess, assassin type character who's trying to like essentially kill Ethan Hunt, and she's so good at action. She's brilliant. And I was just like, oh, she has not been used enough in the Gardens of the Galaxy. Like, obviously and obviously the character of Mantis got more and more into the films as they went on. But as I was watching this, I was like, oh, she is so like genuinely really good at action. I was really pleasantly surprised. Enjoyed her character in that film as well.
Nice.
Um, yeah. So and then yeah, How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know. I might see it. I might not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think
I
we've.
don't know. Something about the way the people look in it. I don't know what it is. It's just.
I think it's
I
just one of
feel
those.
like I think everything in cinemas like this at time. I think this is what it is. Is that everything looks like a set,
Yeah,
and everything in it looks like a costume. It doesn't look like they live in those clothes. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And that just something about it puts me off. And I feel like, and because there's loads of things I don't watch. For example, like I don't watch the TV show Vikings, but I've seen clips of it, and it doesn't look like a set. It doesn't look like a costume. It just looks like Vikings kicking about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know it's that this is a completely different tone, but I feel you can still get those things right and keep the tone. Because quite obviously the dragons are quite colourful, other than the main dragon. They're quite colourful. Like, do you know what I mean? And some of the shots of the dragons look quite good. They've got that sort of cartoony vibe about them, but that I'm fine with because of the type of film it is. It's a kids' film, but there's just something about like these obvious sets that really takes me out the film or the
I,
trailer even.
I think that's like what I was saying about the Thunderbolts there, though. Like that bit in the city that I was talking about. I feel like that's feels like it's quite obvious. A lot of that's probably on sound stages,
Did
and
you
so
watch it? Did you watch it on your
on the
phone or
telly,
on your on
telly.
the telly? Okay, because I felt funny about it on my phone, but when I put it on the telly and the computer, I was like, "Nah, I'm okay. These are okay." But I get it. I get that there is some bits. There probably are some bits that seem a bit. This is a set. And I just feel like movies have got so reliant on sets, and I get it. It's cheaper if you build a big lot and then you can make sets. It's cheaper than going on location, but there's just something to be said about location film making. That's
Yeah.
yeah, but I thought How to Train Your Dragon looked really bad for that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. So before we wrap it up, Mr. Bear Milk, what have you been playing and watching? Have you been watching anything? Have you been playing anything?
No, so I've not really been watching anything.
Rude.
Nothing proper. Actually, no, in saying that, I've been kind of dipping in Yellowstone. Charlene's been watching it, and so I've been kind of watching, just dipping in and out episodes. And I'm not really big on cowboy stuff, but it seems alright. Seems fine. But I was just browsing through what's available to me, and Andor popped up, and I was like, "Oh, Charlene, we need to watch this because it's so
You
good."
need to. You need to watch it. Well, how will you feel though if you put it on, and you'll be doing your wee sideways glances to see like is she enjoying it? Is she enjoying it? And she doesn't like it. Wedding off. Is it still on?
I've just got in my bed in a huff. Um, yeah, no, I think she should like it. I've tried. The problem is though, I think I've bigged it up too much already. So
Yeah.
I
I
think
have
I've
said
went.
to Amelia about Andor as well because she's watched most of the Star Wars stuff. Some of it she just couldn't care less about, and some of it she's like, yeah, that was fine. Like I enjoyed it, but I had no desire to like particularly watch it again. But I think she would like Andor because of the whole like sort of rebellion side to it. It's like it's really like the sort of like it feels like a heist at times and stuff, and it's quite political with all the stuff going on. It's
Yeah.
good, man. It's just good telly.
Yep. So I'm gonna be pushing that. I think for the next TV show we watch together because we're kind of nearing the end of From. We're kind of stuck. We stopped a wee bit watching that. So I'm gonna push for Andor. I think next because I've
Nice.
tried explaining it. It's just one season and it's like 10 episodes or something. So you've not really got much to be stressing about here. So aye. But that's the movie and TV side of things. Gaming, I've played quite a few games. I've started Cyberpunk 2077, um, Marvel Rivals, Path of Exile, and something else. Oh, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky. Been really enjoying No Man's Sky actually. Um,
Yeah, you put a wee TikTok up in the channel that I really enjoyed because obviously I wasn't there, so it's sometimes it's nice for like when you've been playing games and I've not been there to see like that, like to see what you've been up to.
yeah.
And that wee with the worm was like just a genuine reaction. I really like it.
You need to get
Uh,
you on it. Need to get you on to have a wee
yeah, I
shot.
will. I will. Like last night, I just didn't want to go on because I was mostly concentrating on the NFL. I'd rather like come on and concentrate on it,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Um, so I'm sure we can go on maybe at the weekend at some point.
What about you? What you
Uh,
been doing?
TV, we finished Squid Game, um, season 2, which was good. It wasn't as good as the first one. It's a bit silly at times. I think I mentioned this to you before. I think Squid Game's at its best when it's more serious than silly, in my opinion. Like, I don't mind a little bit of silliness, but sometimes I felt it went a bit too like, he's a proper annoying me. Like, do you know what I mean? Um, but episode 6 in particular, there was one little scene in it, which I won't spoil. It's not like anything major actually, but it went really serious and the acting went up a wee bit, particularly the characters who were involved. And I was like, oh, that's good. I like that. More of this, please. Um, so that was good, and we watched Great British Menu, so we've been watching that as well.
Nice.
Gaming, obviously on Thursday night we were all on, and my Discord wasn't playing, and I couldn't be asked fighting it, so I just went on. I went in a huff, and I was like, I'm just going to play single player, and I went and played Stellar Blade, and I finished it. But I was like, I'll play a couple hours of this. This is about 9:30, I think. I was like, I'll play a couple hours. I was up to 1:30 in the morning, like, because I got that sense like, oh, I'm near the end. Let's just get this finished. And I thought maybe by 12, and then it was like 1:30 by the time I actually did it. Really good though. Really enjoyed it. Glad I finished it. I like stayed on and finished it. I really enjoyed it. So that was good. And I've been playing Gears on stream and on. I just recorded a couple episodes and chucked them up on YouTube. I think one went up today. and one will go up on Wednesday. So the pod will go out in the morning, and there's an episode will come out in the evening. And I'm really enjoying it now. Like when I played the first hour or so, I was kind of like, yeah, this is fine. Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, I'll play it through because I'm enjoying it enough, but I wasn't like, this is really good. But now I can start to see why people loved these games. Like I'm proper into it now. I think I said to you, like, I love the dialogue between the characters. Like, it's just like kind of like really like what action movies in the late 90s, early 2000s, the way they spoke to each other was kind of like just like always like digging at each other, and I quite
Right.
enjoy it. And the gameplay's mixed up a little bit as well, which was quite refreshing. I thought it was just going to be completely like that, like duck and cover third person shooter, which is fine. Like I have no problems with them, but there's a little, and not loads, but there's like a couple of little bits, like even just little bits. There's like this one little bit where you go in like a big spotlight. Because basically there's these creatures that if you go in the dark, they just attack you straight away and kill you. There's nothing you can like do about it. They're only sort of sensitive to light. And you're on this big spotlight, and your pal Santiago, you've got to like move the spotlight as he goes along to the other side. So that was a nice wee touch. And then there's a bit where you're in a big vehicle, and there's a big spotlight attached to the vehicle, but you can only drive or use the spotlight. You can't do both at the same time because like you don't have enough power to do both. So that was a nice like wee gameplay switch up as well. So yeah, really enjoying it. And so there was a big creepy hand. It was like the hands in Elden Ring as well,
I saw
but I don't
that.
know. There's nothing came of that yet, so I don't know if that's coming back. Like so, um, I'm hoping to finish it at the weekend. I'm hoping to like just record a bunch of episodes at the weekend and get it finished. Mainly because I want to play Avowed on the 18th when it comes out.
What is Avowed exactly? I think I saw a trailer for it, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think Avowed would be up your street. So Avowed is by Obsidian, who I'm pretty sure do Outer Worlds and stuff. But it's an RPG. Like it's like you'd love it. You can be a mage type character. You love your magic shit. But I think it's like similar to in the same sort of vein as things like Skyrim and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Not it's a lot more colourful than Skyrim's quite bleak when I look
Can
at it.
be. Yeah, it can be.
Um, it's just the colour palette though. It's very brown and grey, isn't it? Skyrim. It's not
Mm,
very colourful.
there is parts of it that's colourful, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But I've seen a lot of people saying that they hope this sort of scratches like maybe a Skyrim itch for them that they've maybe not had for a wee while. The thing that because I've been a bit on and off about it, but the thing that puts me onto it is like I think the campaign because obviously I actually like doing the campaigns like because some people like playing games like RPGs and then just the thing that appeals to them is that they can just go and do what they want. And like I think you were talking about like in Fallout, like you've got your own agency. Like a lot of people like that, don't they? Where they can sort of like be who they want to be. Kind of like I guess what you've got with No Man's Sky at the moment.
Hmm.
But I like campaigns. I like following campaigns, and I think the campaign's quite short. I think it's between like 20 and 30 hours, and so that appealed to me because like when I hear like a campaign's like 100 hours, I'm just like, oh, that's very overwhelming. I don't know, especially because like I like doing side stuff as well, and I think, well, if I do side stuff on top of the 100-hour campaign, like how long am I going to be playing this game for? And then I'll end
Yeah.
up not stopping before I get to the end, and I quite like to get to the end of things to see where the story goes. And then just last, I've also started a wee game just so I wanted to see how it was, and I think I'm going to continue to play it called Okami, which, like I mentioned at the start of the pod, there, you play as this sort of white wolf in Japan, who protects this village from this beast. But so in the like the opening to the game, there's a lot of dialogue. It's all text though, so it's a lot of reading at the start. Like basically, this white wolf, along with this great warrior Nagi, I think he's called, like defeats this like I think it's a beast with like 13 heads that's been like terrorizing the village, and there's like all these other monsters. But then Shinru or something like that he's called, like the wolf goes into like a deep sleep, and then 100 years later he's woken back up, but he's lost all his like abilities. So you're kind of like collecting your abilities back to it, and then getting rid of like the monsters and the curse from all the land sort of thing. But it's quite good. Like your main weapon's a paintbrush.
All right.
So like I just unlocked like the last skill I unlocked was like if you draw like a little circle, then a line as if it's like a bomb, then a bomb will come up and you can explode stuff. And like if you're in combat and you push R1 to paint and it kind of freezes time. If you push R1 and you do little dots in the ground, it will sprout up trees, but you can do it so that they hit through the people and sort of like restoring nature like benefits you like in combat as well as like you you do have to restore nature outside the combat and like the constellations and the star and stuff like that, like with your paintbrush and like you can make like you might come to like a river and there's no way to cross it and you can like use your paintbrush to um make a bridge, but provided that you've got that skill. So like that's the skill of restoration. So I've got that, and there's rejuvenation, and there's like I can't remember what the bomb one was called, but obviously you can create bombs and stuff. And there's like a sword one where you can like if you hit an opponent so many times, he kind of goes grey, and then you can like draw a slash through him, and you'll like slash them in half and stuff like that.
Nice.
It's quite good. It's just it's quite chill as well. Like I like just running about as this wolf, like, and I'm really excited for the sequel because obviously the animation's nice, but it's old. It's like 20+ years old, so it'd be nice to see what they could do now with like. I'd like them to. It feels kind of hand drawn, and I hope it kind of stays that way, but just with like hand drawn on a computer so that they can really like touch it up and make it like nice and clear and clean. Because like when you run with the wolf after you've been running for a wee while, it speeds up and it leaves like he leaves like a trail of flowers behind him as he's running, and I quite like it's just a nice wee touch. So
Nice.
it's the reason I started playing it is because like I'm going away and I thought it like I'll take my portal with me, but there's only certain games I want to play on my portal. Like I don't want to play like I don't know like a game like obviously I can't play this because it's on Xbox, but like do you know like Gears of War? I wouldn't want to play that in the portal. I want to play that sat at my desk at a screen. Whereas this feels like it would be a nice game on the portal as well. Like so yeah, enjoying it.
Nice.
It's nice, pleasant. Like I say, I bought it just because I knew the sequel was coming out, and I just wanted a taste of it to see if it'd be something I'd be interested in. And I think if I don't even if I don't finish this, I'll read up on the story, and then I'll think I'd buy this. I'll buy the sequel.
I like games that force you to think differently. I think there's one I can't remember the name of it. It maybe is just something like perspective, but like you can take I don't know how to
Oh,
describe.
super minimal.
I'm not sure.
Is
But
it
it's
the
like
one so like so you had like a block of cheese that's in a triangle, and you can make it tiny, or you can make it so that you can go up to a door that's up high in the sky.
kind of like that. Aye.
If it's super minimal, if it's that, I think that's what it's called. I played that last year.
Yeah, it might be that game. Yeah, just looking at it, I think the look looks right. There was a couple of games that I'd seen like that people playing, and it's like yeah, that type of thing where you maybe need a key, and there's a big massive key in the wall, but you can shrink it down, and just
Aye,
depending on the way you look and everything. So
yeah.
yeah, I like
Um,
games like that that make you think outside the box.
that was nice. It was only like I think it only took me a couple of hours to finish that game. It's just a short game. But there's one as well. I remember the one bit that got me was like you. It was like a drawing that was like on the floor and on the walls, and I couldn't get up to a ledge, but what I needed to do was like line up the drawing on the floor and the wall so that it made like a cube, and then the cube would fall out the wall, and then I could then move it to thingy get up there. It's like that is it the Stanley? What's
Parable,
the Stanley part? That's meant to be like good as well, isn't it? It's like a 12. It's like 12 minutes each time, and you sort of like can.
think so. Yeah.
It's meant. I've heard that's meant to be really good. Cool. And that I think that's me. I mean I played Marvel Rivals with you last night as well.
Yes.
Obviously.
Obviously.
That was actually the first time I'd played it in over a week. I think.
Oh really?
Yeah, maybe a week exactly, but I'd went a wee break on it.
was really enjoying the games last night. That really enjoying playing as
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger and as Groot. Those were my main two that was doing last night, and I was really enjoying it. Oh, Namor as well. Yeah, really, that game just seems to be persistent.
I'm enjoying it, and I think like I read, I don't know, it does seem to be rumours, but I feel like every time a rumour drops about this game, it tends to be true. That Johnny Storm and The Thing are out on the 21st of February.
Yeah, I saw that there's going to be a the ranking's going to be reset or whatever as well.
Oh, really?
And there's going to be a Sue Storm blood skin or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
I've achieved that because I got to gold. Need to get you to gold. We need to, maybe that's a wee mission we need to get on.
Good luck with that. That's the Marvel Rivals servers you need to be consulting with for that to give me competent teammates.
Yeah, the game I enjoyed the most last night was I think Appa was maybe Star-Lord. I was Winter Soldier and you were Cloak and Dagger. And the three of us all got 20 plus kills and very few deaths, and everyone else in the team was quite low, but the three of us all had like pretty solid games. I think you got MVP that particular game.
Probably, knowing me, probably.
And it was just good because like obviously your lobby set, but like I managed to get like 3 agains as well with Winter Soldier, and that obviously feels nice to be able to be like again. Like
yeah.
So that was good. Nice, cool. We'll call it there.
Yes.
Nice. I won't be on for ages. Anyway, sorry, we're calling it there. Thanks for listening. Please like and comment. That would help us. If you've listened, that will help us. I think it helps us be noticed more by Spotify so that more people may stumble upon the podcast. So if you do listen to it, Jack and Papa, please like and comment. And yeah, and if you've stumbled upon this, we've got a Discord channel. We'd love you to join. We just generally talk about we post things in there. People who are in the Discord post things in there, and we just generally talk about games and movies in there. And sometimes we're all on playing games as well. And if there's space, you'd be welcome to join us sometimes. And check out our YouTube channel, which you'll see this on. But myself and Ryan were also posting games. I've got a Gears of War playlist. Ryan's got about 700 playlists at the moment. He's got I was going to say Starfield. You don't have Starfield. You've got Path of Exile. You've got the Cyberpunk game, and you've got No Man's Sky.
Yes.
So
I know, I need to pick a lane and stick to it.
I think it's okay as long as you. I think you can do it, but I think what you have to do is you have to be like consistent and taking turns. You know what I mean? Like, what happens is you get the bug for one, and then you just forget the rest of it.
That sounds like No Man's Sky. Now I can feel I'm enjoying it, but then I was the same when I started playing Path of Exile as well, and I'll figure it
out. Nice one. Well, I might start Avowed as well. I don't know. Maybe I'll see how. I need to see how I feel about it first before. But I'll record my first playthrough, and then if I like it, I'll just keep recording. Righty ho. Sorry, we are going this time. Thanks for listening. Take care. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.